In the last couple of discussions, we explored his idea of a hollow victory, a win that feels empty.
Right, and we talked about using a value litmus test to check if our goals actually align with what we care about, to avoid those hollow wins.
Exactly. Today, in verse 1.33, Arjuna drills down to the absolute core of that feeling. He asks, what is the point of a kingdom, of pleasures, or even of life itself, if the very people you want to share it with are the ones you have to destroy to get it?
It's a devastating question. The victory literally destroys its own meaning.
That's the paradox. So, by the end of our conversation today, the goal is to not only understand this specific crisis, but to see how it shows up in our own lives, when achieving a goal threatens the very relationships that make life meaningful. To really get what's happening to Arjuna, we need a modern psychological term for it: cognitive dissonance.
Cognitive dissonance. I've heard that. It's when you hold two conflicting beliefs at the same time, right? And it feels awful.
Precisely. For Arjuna, the two conflicting ideas are, my duty as a warrior is to fight for this kingdom, and my duty to my family is to protect them, not kill them. These two purposes are in a violent contradiction.
And in verse 133, he names them. He says, teachers, fathers, sons, even grandfathers. These aren't abstract enemies. They are the entire structure of his world.
Yes, he's making it personal. For him, a meaningful victory is one he can celebrate with his elders and his family. They are the ones who give the kingdom its value. Without them, the crown is just a hollow piece of metal, which we touched on last time.
So his brain is basically short-circuiting because his win condition requires him to destroy the reason he wanted to win in the first place. That's a total system crash.
Let's make this tangible. We can do a quick dissonance audit on a modern dilemma. Imagine you're offered a massive career promotion. It's everything you've worked for.
Okay, sounds great so far.
But it requires you to move across the country, far away from your aging parents who rely on your support, and your kids would have to leave their school and all their friends.
Oh, okay, I feel the knot in my stomach already. That's it, right there.
That's it. Now let's audit it like Arjuna. Belief 1. Success in my career is a primary goal and will provide for my family. What's the conflicting belief?
Belief 2 would be being present for my family and providing stability and care is my most important role. The promotion serves one belief while directly harming the other.
Perfect. And just like Arjuna, you might ask, for whom am I getting this success? If the answer is my family, but the cost is their well-being, you're on Arjuna's chariot. You see the paradox.
Wow. Yeah. Suddenly the victory of the promotion looks, well, hollow.
Now, it's important to understand the depth of this crisis for Arjuna. It's more than just sadness or confusion. Many scholars analyze this as a full-blown existential crisis.
What does that mean exactly? More than just a bad day?
Much more. It's an identity collapse. He sees himself as a great warrior, a protector, a virtuous man. But this situation forces him into a role where he feels like a murderer, a destroyer of his own kin. His very sense of self is fragmenting.
So it's not just about the external choice. It's about who he is, or who he thought he was. That leads to paralysis, I'd imagine.
Complete decision paralysis. Some call it a moral injury. It's a breakdown. But the Gita frames this as the breakdown before the breakthrough. You have to empty the cup before you can fill it with something new. This is where Krishna's role begins.
Wait, so Krishna's teaching is a response to this specific psychological crisis?
Absolutely. He essentially acts as a cognitive therapist. He doesn't just say, cheer up, Arjuna. He systematically reframes Arjuna's entire understanding of reality. He'll talk about the eternal nature of the soul, that you can't truly kill anyone.
Which would directly address the fear of destroying his loved ones.
Exactly. Then he'll redefine duty or dharma
and introduce karma yoga, acting without attachment to the results. Each piece of advice is a tool to resolve the cognitive dissonance that has paralyzed Arjuna on his chariot. This brings us to a common and incredibly difficult challenge, the clash of duties. The Sanskrit term for this is dharma sankata, a crisis of duty.
That sounds very familiar, like the promotion example. My duty to my career versus my duty to my family.
Precisely. Or think of a founder who believes their duty is to their employees and investors, which requires them to work 100-hour weeks. But they also have a duty to their partner and children, who they never see. Both duties feel righteous, but they are mutually exclusive in practice.
So how do you solve that? I mean, that seems impossible. You just have to choose which one to fail at.
That's what Arjuna thinks too. He's stuck in a binary choice. What Krishna will eventually do is elevate the perspective. He doesn't just help Arjuna choose between duty A and duty B. He introduces a higher, unifying duty, Dharma with a capital D.
A sort of prime directive?
You could think of it that way. It's about aligning with a larger cosmic order and righteousness, rather than just personal or social obligations. The first step, though, which Arjuna is taking now, is acknowledging the conflict. You can't solve for a clash of values until you admit that winning by one standard feels like losing by another.
So, let's bring it all together. Today, we dove into Arjuna's crisis in verse 1.33, where he realizes that his victory would cost him the very people who give that victory meaning.
We framed it as a powerful case of cognitive dissonance, when two core beliefs or duties are in direct conflict, leading to an existential crisis and paralysis.
And we saw how this isn't just an ancient problem. Our dissonance audit showed how we face these choices all the time, with promotions, business decisions, and life changes.
The key takeaway for me is that the why and the who for are just as important as the what. If the what undermines the who for, then you have a hollow crown.
Beautifully put. So for your practice this week, I want you to take one significant goal you're working toward. It could be personal or professional, and simply ask Arjuna's question. For whom and for what am I striving for this?
Okay, so not judging it, just asking the question.
Exactly. Just sit with the answer. Notice if there's any dissonance. We're not solving it yet. We're just developing the awareness Arjuna shows in this verse. That awareness is the critical first step on the path Krishna is about to lay out for him.